it's JT. Howdy, howdy. Welcome to Office Hours here on Work It Daily. Sorry about that, team. We've been having some technical difficulties today. We're doing our best to stream live to you. Hopefully you can find us okay. I'm going to do a really quick check here and see if you can hear me okay. If you can, feel free to pop that little response in the chat so that I know that you all can see me and hear me okay. Oh, that's a good sign. Sylvia says she can see. Rowan, welcome team. Good to have you all here. Awesome. Okay, we're going to spend the next 30 minutes together. Here's how we're going to do this. The first 15 minutes, I want to talk 10 to 15 minutes. I want to talk about a subject that's pretty near and dear to my heart right now as a career coach. And then the back half, I'm going to be taking your questions. So very excited about doing that for you. But before I get started, I want to make a big announcement for everyone. If you didn't know this already, we are really excited. We were handpicked. We were selected to be part of a very exclusive beta test with Facebook. And what Facebook has enabled us to do is create a private group in Facebook where we can support you at a basic level. So for those of you that don't know, this is very exciting. We are the largest web-based career coaching service on the internet. That's what we do. We're a web-based career coaching service. Go over to Work It Daily, check us out. It's where you get your resume reviewed, your cover letter reviewed, your interview prep done, your LinkedIn profile reviewed. You work with our career coaches, get all your materials good to go, get your career questions answered, work through your career problems, and you're part of a private community of other professionals who are getting that same help. But you get to work with us one-on-one there. It's really, really cool. If you've never checked us out, please do. But some people don't need all that help. What they would like to do is be part of a private group, kind of like what we do here on YouTube, but private, so it's not out there. They want to be able to chat with other people and have conversations in real time. And they also want to post questions and get them answered by career coaches and other individuals. That is what this new Facebook group enables us to do. So you're not going to get the resume review or the one-on-one stuff, but you are going to be able to be part of a private group where only the people in the group can see your questions, see your comments, see the responses that we give you. We're also able to stream live in Facebook, just like we're doing here on YouTube. And we do that a couple times a week inside this private Facebook group where we are literally answering questions that have been posted by members. And then we also are able to put a few of our courses in there so that people can get some help and work on their career. So if you've ever thought about, gee, I'd love this thing that they're doing on YouTube and I really want answers and help, how do I do that? Check out this Facebook group. It is only $4.99 a month, and there is a 7-day free trial. So you can try us for free right now as part of this beta test. And after that, it's only $4.99 a month. So again, if you've always felt like you didn't need our full career coaching service program, we get it. We understand. This is a wonderful alternative for all of you that are looking for that little bit of extra help at a really low rate. Okay, so check it out. So excited to have the Facebook group. Really honored to be part of this beta test with Facebook. All right, enough on that. Today's topic is about regret, specifically career regrets. How many of you out there have professional career regrets? So you think about your career, you have this career story that you tell in your head. And for those of you that have never been through our career story course, we have one inside our program where we help you unlock your career story. So we help you get it out of your head, organize your thoughts around it, and then analyze it to see where it is blocking you. And I am seeing an incredible amount of this going on right now. So if you are somebody that when you are asked your career story, you say, well, I made this mistake and I did this and this bad thing happened in my career, and then I did this, I did that, you have career regret. And regret is extremely detrimental. It's like a virus. It really hurts your career and your life, right? Because your career is a huge part of your identity and your life as a whole. It plays an enormous role, right? It impacts your finances, impacts your friendships, impacts your satisfaction in life, mentally, physically, all of it. Career is a big part of it. So when you have career regret and you haven't processed that regret and moved on from it, it is like a virus. It's very, very bad for your future professional growth. It stunts your professional growth. Now, how do I know that? Well, I've been a career coach for many years, right? And every time I started working with people, they'd say, JT, let me tell you my story. And then they would proceed to tell me this whole story, which is nothing more than an interpretation of the events and experiences that have happened in your life. Your career story, everybody watching this right now, the thing that you say about your career is 100% subjective. It is not objective. It is not fact. It is subjective. It is interpretation. It is storytelling. which means that story is always evolving. It is always changing. And this is what I want you to think about here today. If there is one thing that you can do right now, people say, JT, what's one thing I can do right now to start to help my career? It is to analyze your career story, isolate an area where you have regret, and work through and remove that regret. Remove it from the story. So what do I mean by that? Well, let's all think about a time, not necessarily in our career. Think about a time when something happened and you thought, oh my gosh, this is the worst possible thing that could ever happen to me. This is so bad. I can't believe it happened to me. It's so terrible. But then through a course of events, through learning, through growing as a person, you look back and you realize that that was actually a really good thing because it helped you in some way. Now, I wish I could say I was a pioneer in this, but I'm not. Lots of people are talking about this now in terms of how we can improve ourselves. And probably one of the most famous people that talks about it is Deepak Chopra. So for those of you who don't know who he is, he is very spiritual. He leads a lot of mindfulness, a lot of meditation. And he gives a great example. He said, years ago, I was a heavy smoker, but I don't regret it. He's like, I don't regret smoking. He said, because had I not smoked, I would have never learned how important health is and to be healthy is and to take care of myself. So I'm grateful for that experience. Now, not all of us are going to get to that place overnight. None of you are going to sit here today and say, okay, GT, identify this career regret that I have, and now I'm grateful for it. It doesn't work that way. You actually have to do some writing, some thinking around that experience. Why am I blaming that experience? Why am I labeling it as negative? Why am I looking at it as something that's bad? And how can I learn from it? Because if I can pay attention and make sure it doesn't happen again, well, then it served me. So your assignment today, everyone, is to identify a career regret and then write out how it's taught you something. We call it the experience, learn, and grow method inside Work It Daily. And all of our career coaches are trained to work with our members to help them get through this, help them pull that out of themselves and understand that until they can follow the experience, learn, and grow method, until they can take that very subjective interpretation or story they're telling themselves and rewrite it and learn how to rewrite it more objectively, more factually, only then can they start to rewrite the entire story, which then gets you different results. And I will tell you that so many people have been through, literally thousands of people have been through this course that we did on rewriting your career story, your career narrative. That's the technical term for it, the narrative. And had such profound aha moments about their capacity, their own ability to change the story. So for those of you that are actual members of Work It Daily, get in there and check that course out. We did it in the beginning of this year. It was part of our New Year's resolution program here in 2019. It was really, really powerful. And for those of you that haven't joined it, now's the time to check that out. But for anyone watching this today, I challenge you. This is an exercise that you should be doing on a regular basis. Looking at the regret, looking at the things that you label as a bad or negative experience, and then spending some serious time thinking about how you can learn from them. And then really reveling or rejoicing or patting yourself on the back, whatever you want to call it, in the fact that you are smart enough to figure that out and rewrite that story. That's real growth. That's when you're going to take that career to the next level. Oprah Winfrey, Richard Branson, Warren Buffett, you talk to any of these people, they don't see past experiences as failure. They see it as experiments. They look at their life like a science project. And they say, okay, I tried that and I don't like the results. So I'll try something different next time. I've learned from it. I'm going to try something different. And that's all they do. Trial and error, trial and error, trial and error. It's a science experiment. Your life is one big science experiment. And if you can see it that way and stop judging and labeling experiences, you have a lot more opportunity. You can create a lot better and different outcomes when you stop doing that. So don't limit your career with a career story filled with regret. Experience, learn, and grow. And if you can't do that for yourself, if you're in a rut and you're saying, JT, I can't do it, get some help, folks. We can't do everything ourselves. This is why we built a coaching and community-based career platform on the web, right, to help you. So I'm just going to kind of plug there because it's obviously why you should do it. But a lot of you can do this all on your own, just with the advice that I'm giving you today, but don't ignore it. I see so many people ignoring it. They're saying, "Oh, I'm so frustrated in my career and I can't get ahead, JT, and I'm so bummed out." And when we sit down, I go, "Okay, tell me your story. What's going on up in that head of yours? Tell me your story." This is what I get. I get a story filled with regret. And regret is killing your career growth. That is the truth, my friends. Okay? All right. So I'm going to stop there and say I hope you found that helpful. And now I'm going to go over and I'm going to take some questions for the rest of the day today. Remember this, folks, there's literally hundreds of people watching this. I can't answer every question. They go really fast. I just answer what I see. If you want every question answered, you join one of our programs. Okay? That's the deal. All right. So first question that's coming up on the screen for me is from Tim. Tim says, the daughter of a friend just graduated from Ohio State. Go Buckeyes. What's the best way to introduce her to Work Daily? Haha, can she get the special rate? Yeah, she absolutely can. So first of all, we're encouraging a lot of recent grads, by the way, to join the Facebook group. First of all, it's free for 7 days and it's really inexpensive at $4.99 a month. If you have somebody in your life that needs a resume review, cover letter review, LinkedIn profile review, help with the interview, help planning their job search strategy, help figuring out what career direction they want to go in, then they should join our program. And our professional program is $29 a month. But if you use the office hours code, which we're going to put in here now for all you attendees, you can save $10 a month on that, which means it's only $19 a month for all of that help. That is unheard of. That is why we're the #1 web-based career coaching service. So absolutely, Tim, get that code and share it with your friends and they can check it out. All right. JM says, what do you do when you can't find a job after graduating? Oh boy, because so this is a huge subject. JM, they teach you everything in school except how to find a job. So I guarantee you are probably not really looking for a job. You think you are because you're basing your job search on what you're told to do, which is let me look online and let me fill out applications online for jobs that I think I'm a fit for, and then let me wait and hear from someone. That is actually not job search. One of the biggest injustices the whole recruiting process built, one of the biggest mistakes all these technologies made was the easy button. They want more people to apply to their jobs. So they make it really simple for you to go in there, fill out an application. You might not think it's simple as you sit there and spend 30 minutes answering questions. But this idea of online, I mean, this didn't exist 20 years ago. It's not how you looked for a job. It couldn't be any easier. The problem is it's super ineffective. They are designed to screen you out, not screen you in. Less than 3% of the people that apply to a job online, JM, so less than 3% of all the jobs you applied to, did anybody ever hear back or get an interview? So all of a sudden it makes recent grads feel really depressed because they spend this time and energy applying online and they don't hear anything. And then they feel like, well, what's wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with you. It's your strategy and your approach to job search that's wrong. So if you join our program, what you're going to learn is that you have to conduct a proactive job search. Now, proactive job search is when you identify, first of all, what are your specialties? What are the skills and abilities that you want to leverage? So you do need to have some sense of the kind of work you want to do, the kind of value you want to bring. And if you don't know what that is, a really great first step for you is to take our Career Decoder quiz. Go over to workitdaily.com. We have a quiz that tells you how you like to deliver value on the job. It's going to be eye-opening because once you see that, we also send you a video, and this is all free, by the way, that walks you through how to interpret this information and start to brand yourself. And by that, I mean, what should go on your resume? What should go on your LinkedIn profile, right? How you should introduce yourself. This is your brand. This is really important because companies buy brands. They buy your value. So now you figure that out. Now you figure out what kind of jobs match what you want to be doing for work. And this is where you proactively start to network and connect with these employers, because you need to meet and talk to people that work there. And I know that sounds scary and you think, what do I have to offer these people? I'm a recent graduate. Well, guess what? They love talking to new grads. New grads have, no bad habits. People love to share wisdom with you. They want to share how to get a job. They want to help you. There's a huge networking capacity for recent grads that they never tap into. The ones that tap into it, oh my gosh, they crush it. And I tell this story every year, but it's one of my favorites. That's why I tell you. I worked with a woman. She had an anthropology degree, and she wanted a job at ESPN. Now, just so you know, everybody that applies to ESPN as a recent grad has a sports marketing degree, right? That's their dream, is to work in sports and to work at ESPN. She was a female hockey player, but she got an anthropology degree, and she said, I want to work at ESPN. So what we did is we targeted her strategy, we built out her brand, and we had her informational interview with a bunch of people at ESPN. So she found individuals, she connected with them on LinkedIn and said, I'd love to just phone interview you. or come meet you and learn what you think it takes to be successful in the industry, specifically at ESPN. I'm not looking for a job, just learning to understand what it takes, what somebody like me as a new grad should be looking for. Well, of course, all sorts of people agreed to meet with her. She wasn't asking for a job, she was asking for their advice. And of course, they wanted to give back to a recent grad. So she ended up going on half a dozen of these. She goes home, she moves home, she graduates from school, and she gets a phone call out of the blue. And it is from a manager at ESPN. And the manager says, I just had a recent grad back out of a job with us. I have an open position. I need to fill it like yesterday. So I sent out an email to all my fellow managers and said, I have this position, it's open. Did any of you, have any second candidates or people that you couldn't hire that you wanted to? I'm desperate. And 3 different people recommended you. She said, 3 different people gave me your name. So obviously you have built some kind of presence up in this company. Can I talk to you? She ended up phone interviewing with the woman, not even going down to ESPN, phone interviewing with the woman for an hour and was offered the job. And that is how she got her job at ESPN. I love that story. And the truth is you could insert any company there because she did the legwork. She met with people. She used her newness to the working world to her advantage. And every recent grad has that capacity out there. And candidly, a bunch of you are sitting here right now going, well, this doesn't help me, JT. I'm not a recent grad. Same thing applies. There's a company you want to work for, start meeting people and informational interviewing them. What did it take to earn a job there? What do you love about your job? What advice can you give me? That's what you want to start to gather. Don't ask these people to get you a job. That's your job. But you can ask them for lots of other information that can help prep you for the job. And then the beautiful part is when you do see a job that you're fit for at that company, 1, you can apply. 2, you can write a killer disruptive cover letter, which is what we teach you how to do. And that's a cover letter that makes them understand why you're so passionate. And you're going to mention, by the way, I've met Bill Jones and Mary Smith and, Fred and all these other people at your company. And here's why I love your company. So that cover letter is going to be amazing. But then you're going to go to all those people and say, I want to thank you because a job just popped up at your company and I applied and I was so enthusiastic and I wrote this cover letter. And had I not spent the time talking to you and learning about the company, I couldn't have written that and applied. Again, did you ask them to help you out? No, you're just giving them thanks. But you know what they're going to do? Walk down the hallway and tell the hiring manager. See how that works, folks? It's all about the data gathering of the companies that you would love to work for. That is how you get your dream job. And really today, that's how we get most jobs because jobs are gotten via referral. Very few jobs are ever hired purely through online channels. There's usually some sort of connection in some way. And if we all know that, then we know the solution is for us to get out there, figure out where we want to network, who we want to know, and make those connections. Okay? All right, great question. Okay, I'm jumping to Steve Graham, who says, I was recently asked about my last interview went and why I didn't get hired. I felt my response, they said I wasn't a good fit, may have been the response I shouldn't have given. Okay, I love this, Steve. Thank you for being honest. And I wouldn't have given that answer either. It was too vague. So what you want to do is be able to apply that experience, learn, and grow method that I was mentioning earlier here today. So what I would say is, I went on 3 interviews with them. I made it to the final round. There were, as I was told, there were 6 candidates. I went through the process. When I asked for feedback, I got a sense that I didn't have as much of the XYZ experience as they were looking for. So I believe that that's why I didn't end up ultimately getting the job. And that makes sense because, really, I want to make sure that my skills are being leveraged. So I probably wouldn't have been the best fit there anyways, but I enjoyed the experience and I learned a lot from it. See how we're talking about the experience, talking about what we learned from it and how we grew as a professional? That's what they're looking for. They're looking for the fact that you were able to analyze that situation. So you never want to be too vague when they ask a question like that. You want to give them as much facts as possible. Okay? All right. Great question. Yeah, sorry, folks. I can't get all the questions right there. So looking to change careers from gaming, 17 years, to interior design, which I have an associate's degree in 2015. Where do I start? Okay. So the classic career change problem we have is that if you're just going to send out your resume, Kay Torres, everyone's going to toss it. I'm going to be perfectly blunt with you because they're going to see the experience in gaming and go, what does this have to do with interior design? No, thank you. In order to get hired, you have to make sure that your resume isn't the first part of the process. So applying online is not going to work for you. Networking is going to work for you. This bucket list concept of places where you want to do interior design work, entry-level interior design work, is your number one goal. You've got to meet as many people as you can, and you need to tell an incredible story. So earlier on in this session, I was talking about career stories and career narratives and how a lot of people, talk about their regrets and it holds them back. You need the flip side. That course that we built in January teaches you at the end how to write a really awesome career story. And your career story needs to be killer, because I need to understand why the heck you're throwing away a 17-year career in gaming for interior design. And that, I guarantee there's emotion around that. There's a story, there's a passion, there's a motivation, because who does that, right? And that's how you have to attack it. You have to go meet people and say, I'm sure you're wondering why somebody with a 17-year track record in gaming has decided to go back to school, get their interior design degree, and now wants to switch. Because that's my story. That's who I am. Let me tell you about why I'm obsessed with interior design. Let me tell you why it lights my fire, why I get up every day, why I don't care that I'm not going to get paid the same that I got paid before. That has to come through in your story. They need to see it, feel it, hear it. They need to identify with you. They need to see how much you geek out on your new passion, and you need to talk about that geeking out with them. So I don't know, I may be like, so I'm obsessed with pillow design, or, I think, sofas make the room, and you get them talking. You geek out together. And the more people you can geek out with in the career that you want to be in, that's when they go, oh, so she gets it. She's one of us. She understands us, and you'll be fine. That's when they will introduce you and recommend you for those jobs. But until they can feel that in you, till they know you are a member of their tribe, till you can talk like that, they're not going to give you the time of day. And that is just harsh reality, folks. And I get so many people they get mad. I was going to say a stronger word, but they get really frustrated with the fact that nobody will give me a chance. Nobody wants to give me a chance. Can't they see I'm passionate? Well, you know what, folks? It's not enough that you decided that you wanted it. Good for you. Good for you that you figured out what you wanted. That's awesome. But, it's life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness in the United States. Pursuit. You have to pursue this. You have to do the work. You are selling yourself. It's not going to fall in your lap. You got to get out there. You got to network. You got to show them 110% why you chose this, get in the game, and make things happen for yourself. And you got to hustle, hustle, hustle. I just, last week, I spent a week at the Indeed Interactive Conference. So I was there with 2,200 recruiting professionals who use the Indeed platform. And I was speaking and moderating a panel of job seekers who had massively switched careers. It was called Hello from the Other Side. We had a man who had been a GM auto worker who became a triage nurse, an emergency room nurse. I had a woman who was a Division I basketball coach, college basketball coach, who became a mental performance coach, and mental health specialist, got a degree. I had a woman who was a professional fairy, went to parties and was a fairy at children's parties and ran that kind of company, who is now in tech. And I had a woman who was a PhD, who wanted to be a PhD researcher, who is now running project management in a tech company as well. So they had made these big career shifts. And all of them said that what they wished is that people would hear their story. And that what got them to the other side was when somebody finally heard their story, it clicked for the person. They said, oh, you should talk to so-and-so, and you should try this, and you should do this, and you should do that. But what we noticed was what? It wasn't that they just wrote a cover letter and somebody read it and it was all good. They were out there making it happen, having conversations, and letting the world know their story. That is what you have to do. You got to pursue it, folks. You have to go after it. It's not going to happen with you. I see too much of this. Why apply online? What did I tell you earlier? Only 3% of candidates ever get contacted. Your cover letters are getting tossed. You need a way to go around the online system, get that cover letter, that really awesome story, that networking opportunity. You have to make those happen for yourself. And people go, I don't want to do it, JT. I'm not a networker. I'm not a salesperson. I'm not salesy. I don't like it. I get it, folks. I don't like it either. But do you want to switch careers? Do you want to do something you love? Do you want to get paid? This is what we have to do. So we do it. We get it done. So get enthusiastic, get it done. Okay. All right. I'm going to take one more question here. Let's see. Does it hurt you if you apply to numerous companies, numerous times at one company for several months or years? Yes, it does. I'll be perfectly honest with you. You should not be massively applying to one company. You should be building a relationship there. Okay. Because if I'm a recruiter and I see that you've applied over and over and over and over again, in my mind, you're not taking the hint. We haven't chosen you. And if anything, it feels like What are you doing? Why aren't you building relationships? So my advice is to stop doing that and instead look at people that you know in the organization and do the networking strategy that we talked about here today. And say to them, I've applied numerous times here, but I can't seem to get my foot in the door. I can't seem to get noticed. Why do you think that is? Can you give me some advice on that? I'm not looking for you to help me get a job or introduce me to anybody. It's more me trying to figure out what I can do to stand out and actually get that phone call. And you need to have that conversation with a few people and they get to know you. And the other thing I want to tell you about that is that people refer people they connect with. People recommend to their employer people that they identify with, people that they could see eating at the lunchroom table with or having a quick chat at the water cooler. So you have to get to know people on a personal level. So when you are informational interviewing, it's not about you, it's about them. What's your favorite part of your job? What's your proudest accomplishment? What do you love about your work? What do you do in your free time? Tell me about the people that you work with. What are your favorite qualities about the people that you work with? You want to data gather that, but you also want to give them a chance to ask that so that they can feel like they can connect with you. So that's another very important piece of that puzzle. But most definitely, bombarding a company with a lot of applications is not going to work. It is relationship based, and they do see that. They see when you've applied so many times, and it comes across desperate, right? And you're not desperate, and you don't need to be. You need to be strategic. Okay. All right. Woo. All right. So much fun. Listen, we go live twice a week and answer questions inside the new Facebook group. You can get all of your questions answered one-on-one by a career support specialist if you join our web-based career coaching service. So you've got options, folks. If you found this helpful and you need more help, ask yourself, what are you doing? Why aren't you investing in your career? This is what Work It Daily is all about. If you're not ready, that's okay. You can come back here next week, hang out with us. You can check out our free videos here on YouTube. You can go over to Work It Daily. We've got a lot of free articles and advice over there. We've got our free quizzes you can try. There are tools, but here's what I want you to understand before I leave today. Anything worth having in your life, anything worth achieving is going to require you to work it daily. That is why it is the name of our company. And I'm not talking hours a day. I am talking 10, 15 minutes a day. All of you know that you spend more time on social media looking and liking and goofing off and probably feeling bad about what everybody else has in their life and how much better everybody is. Those aren't feel-good activities, and yet we waste an average of an hour a day doing that, a lot of times more. What if you peeled off 10 minutes? 10 minutes to work it daily, to focus in on what matters, to surround yourself with like-minded people, to get positive reinforcement. How many times have you heard you're the product of the people you hang out with? Are you hanging out with the right people when it comes to your career? Are you getting daily advice? Are you being inspired? Because that's what it takes. And it's not that hard. The resources are here, but you have to take that next step. So I challenge you all, whether it's the free resources we offer, whether it's the paid resources, commit. Mark your calendar, first thing in the morning, lunchtime, nighttime, commit. Try it for 30 days, 10 minutes a day or more. You're going to do something to make yourself smarter when it comes to your career, when it comes to job search, when it comes to work, because they don't teach you this stuff in school. There's no courses for this in school. And there's certainly no ongoing education anywhere until Work It Daily, where you could do that. It's not rocket science. It's not brain surgery. You can do this. You can get improvements in your career, but it takes commitment. A few minutes every single day. It's habit forming. Better habits, better results. And that's what Work It Daily is about, okay? So that's my advice. You want to win? You got to work it daily, whether it's with us or someone else, okay? So go get them. You got this. All right. Thanks, everyone. I really appreciate you stopping by. I'll see you inside the program soon, okay? All right. Take care. Bye-bye.